Hi again, I'm back with the next part of the video. We are going to continue from the same place where we left this guy in the previous video. So yeah, so let's proceed. So there are a couple of things which we are going to do. First thing is I'm going to make it slightly smaller so it adjusts over there perfectly. Yep, we can adjust it later, but this is necessary. All right. So, yeah. All right. Uh, Let me open the reference image so I know exactly what we are actually preparing. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay. Here we are. So to add this extra detailing, you guys can see over there and there in those places, we need to use Marvelous Designer. Yeah. So, all right, let's start with this guy here. And I'm just thinking if we can do both together, or maybe let's try different separate ones. All right, so file, export, export selected, and let's export it where we have had the reference images. All right, let's export it as an OBJ. Now let's call it exports. Okay, and let's call it base. Okay, done. Done. Let's open Marvelous Designer now. All right. So first of all, this is a Marvelous Designer. This is really powerful software, and I use it so much for all of the fabric works. All right. So just wanted to confirm one thing that if I press G here, so make sure your object is above this ground line, grid line, x-axis line. That's necessary. Otherwise, it's gonna be a mess in 3D in Marvelous Designer. So in Marvelous Designer, so yeah, in the Marvelous Designer, we are going to come to the preferences. And there are a couple of settings which we are going to do in order to continue. So first of all, you have to set the gizmo as a world coordinate, then settings, user settings. In the user settings, you have to come here in the user interface and systems units into the centimeters, and in the view controls you have to select 3ds max. These are very powerful tools, otherwise you are going to get lost in Marvelous Designer. Okay, so this is very important. You have to do these things. So in user interface, like the units as centimeter, and select this 3ds Max from there. If you are using it already, whatever you are using, that's totally fine. But if you're using it will make your life easy. It will keep the same panning, moving, orbiting controls as we have in 3ds Max, All right. So just make sure to restart once you have changed the units, because otherwise the units won't reflect here. Since I have already the centimeters, so I am not going to restart this. So then file, import obj, and then let's select the guy base. So just check the units. This should be centimeters. Press do not touch anything. Press OK. And here we have our mesh. So I'm orbiting it as I used to do in 3ds Max with Alt and middle mouse button. And this is 2D. You cannot orbit it. This is everything is 2D. You will see for the reference over there. So let's create a cloth for this. So with the passage of time, you are going to get used to this. I'm not going to go one by one in all the buttons, because those are like, it will take hours, and we are going to cover this video within few minutes. Okay, so let's press S, take rectangle. This is the 2D where we will create 2D fabrics, and it will be reflected in 3D here. So the shortcut key is S, and let's drag and drop from here to here, let's say. All right, cool. Let's select this, and you can see once you select or click here, you will see a gizmo appears which includes rotate and move. So I'm going to rotate it like this and like this. All right. Cool. So I'm trying to be as precise as possible. So, perfect. All right. The next part is we are going to bring it to 70, or maybe let's see. So I click this guy here to edit the pattern, and then I can click on the line and I can adjust in 2D, and you will see the reflection immediately over here. So that is fine for me. Let's move this guy here a bit more. I think it was 60 in when we were drawing this guy. So it's going a bit crazy. Let's reduce this. 58. Perfect. So you can say 90% of work is done. All right. So I'm just going to Control C this guy and Control V. Select this guy, click here, transform pattern, select, Control C, Control V, and press it here. Paste it here, sorry. Select this guy, rotate it with pressing Shift, so it will do a kind of angle snap, and move it to the bottom of this. Perfect. Next step is just Control C, Control V again, and boom. Now just rotate it for 90 degree maybe, and bring it here. Cool. Move it down so we have the accuracy, you know. Perfect. And now I'm going to add the pattern again. Perfect. All right. Looks okay to me. Now again, Control C, Control V, and rotate it. So you see here, this side is kind of white and this side is black. This is inside of the cloth, okay? And this is outside of the cloth. So make sure the inside remains inside. That's why I'm rotating it and place it here. So if your cloth will be like this, so it's not gonna work because later we are going to do some sewing, stitching, and it is gonna be a mess if we do not follow it properly. Okay, next thing is Control C, Control V again on this side. Okay, where did it go? Too far, no problem. Bring it here, rotate it. I'm pressing Shift so I can rotate it properly. All right, bring it here. So we have kind of extra piece there. This guy, we need to reduce it. To do it accurately, what I can do, I can rotate it in 2D. You know, whatever I do, move, rotate or anything in 2D, it is not going to reflect in 3D. But yes, if we added the pattern, make it smaller, that is gonna be something that will reflect over there. All right, looks good. Control C, Control V again. All right. All right, sounds good. So we have all the pieces here. Now we are going to stitch them together. So one thing you need to make sure the black part is inside. You can see white part is outside. So if you are not able to see the black part or your all the parts are just like white, just make sure to select this guy here. You can see. So sometime when you select it is not like very different. So or sometime it is white on both sides just like this. You can see now. So in order to show, actually you can click here and you can click this guy. It will show you the white part and black part. That's very necessary thing. All right, we keep it closer and click on this guy for the stitching. This is called segment sewing. Make sure you choose the right one. And now we are going to sew them or stitch them here to here. So you see there is a small cross section, a small line crossing the line. This means, this indicates that this stitching is right. So if you bring mouse closer to this guy, you can see a very small tiny you know across to the edge. And if you bring it here, there is also. So make sure you stitch the opposite ones. You do not stitch this way. If you stitch it, it is going to be a mess like this. So we don't want like that. Just do like this, not like this. Okay, same way. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So one thing, you need to make sure that your system is really powerful. All right. Looks good to me. All right, next thing is we are going to simulate. The shortcut key for the simulation is pressing a space button or clicking here. So if you press space, it will simulate the cloth and you can see what is going on actually here, okay? So you can see because of the gravity, this bottom part is being attracted towards the ground, which looks really bad. We should have the bottom part, but no problem. We can do a couple of changes. So first of all, select all of this guy and change the particle distance from here. This is 20 mm. It should not be uh, more than 10 because the particle distance is basically the mesh. If we see here, so the particle distance is the distance between this particle, this vertex and this vertex. This is 20, this is 20, 20. So if we select them again and if we change the particle distance from 20 to 8, you will see they will become more closer. More the vertices, more the closer, it is going to be more detailed. So let's simulate again. And perfect. Now it looks more detailed, but there are a couple of things which we are going to change. First of all is that I want to put a negative pressure on this guy. But before I put a negative pressure, let me do one thing. I select all these guys and I'm going to use these shrinkage properties. Shrinkage properties, you know, when you take a cloth and you wash it, there is a chance that the cloth shrinks. So these are the shrinkage properties. They work the same way as I explained, that it shrinks. So for example, if this is the percentage, if I make it 90, so it will shrink down about 90%. So it will reduce the actual length or width or height to the 90%. So for example, if it was 100 centimeters, after we apply the shrinkage of 90%, the length is gonna stay for 90. The 10% is gonna be reduced. So it's sometimes it's needed, sometimes it's not. It's totally up to your need. If it's needed, you can. If it's not, then you can skip. All right. So I'm going to make it 95 on the x-axis. On the y-axis, make sure you have everything selected here, and then press escape. So it will just tighten the load a little bit on the body, which makes more sense. And you can see in the bottom, you know, the problem we were facing is reduced. You see? All right. Another thing we can do to avoid that is we can add a pressure. So pressure is basically, you can see the air inside the cloth. So if I give you a really quick example of the pressure, let's freeze it for now. So it doesn't simulate when we do some calculations or some stuff. So I created this tiny fabric here. Let's rotate it, sorry. And this, Control C, Control V, and rotate this guy here. All right, let's stitch this. And I'm going to use GPU, so it will be a little faster. So you see, my bad. So let's increase the particle distance to 8. All right. And this is how it reacts. A flat cloth. Okay. So if we add pressure, by default it's 0. Let's add 5 and let's see how it goes. So you can see the pressure, and if we simulate, give me 1 second, let's move it slightly up and then simulate, and you can see how quickly and easy we created the cushion. So if we have pressure of 1, so this is how it looks like. Pressure of 2 looks better. This is how the pressure thing works. And if we delete that and select this guy here again, select everything, right click, unfreeze, and now I'm going to select this guy and put the pressure of -2. It is going to actually create a suction for only this fabric, and it is going to stick with the body, and it's kind of that you see now it is completely flat now. And if we make it 0, you can see there is a lag, or there is a lumpy type of stuff. -2, perfect, all gone. Next, very interesting stuff I would love to do, that is making these corners fillet. So before we proceed, I would like to save this file so I don't lose this whole progress. Let's call it marvelous, and let's call it Mabel sofa. All right. So next thing is I'm going to long press on this guy and smooth curve. All right, let's make it for 3 for now. Let's see which corner in go. Yes, let's press space again and see how does it looks like once it is simulated again. All right, looks really good, man. Amazing. 3 is perfect. Again, 3. It's not gonna be 100% accurate, but it can be 3.0, 2.99, 2.98, 3.01, or something like that. So just make sure we are making the corners smooth of the larger fabric pieces. Right. Okay. So all the edges around now, I'm going to press space again to simulate so everything comes in place. Just make sure you follow the steps accordingly because this is something necessary. So it looks good to me. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this bottom guy and freeze the guy on the back, freeze, and right, that was not a back actually, that was the left side. This is also the right side, freeze it, that is the back side. So if you press 2, it will give you the front. 3 perspective, 4 left, 5 top. So from the top view, you can see we have only 2 parts unfreezed, which is this one and this one. So what I'm going to do, right click, freeze this one too. Now everything else is freeze, only this guy here is unfrozen. So let's do some magic with it. I have selected this and let's make it 105. Only for this fabric, not for all. Selected it and shrinkage weft. This is X, so I made it 105. Let's see. Okay, let's make it 120. Okay, more details. Let's make it 108 and let's add a pressure of 1, maybe 10. Good. 20. So it gives kind of, slight details, which are actually not very much in this, but this is just something I wanted to explain you guys. If you want to have it, you can have it. So let's make it 100 maybe. And let's reduce the pressure from 20 to 2. All right. Looks good to me. That's kind of, fabric thing. And another thing I'm going to do is click on this fabric guy and select the physical property, how our fabric is going to react based on the gravity, the interaction, the stitching. There are a couple of options like fur, rabbit, leather, lambskin. So mostly I use knit cotton rayon jersey. This one. This is perfect with the detailing and simulation. This works really good. All right, I'm going to freeze this guy, unfreeze this, and let's add 105. Press space to simulate. 110. All right, cool. You can use it if it is needed, but I'm not going to, because our fabric here on this part is not, very loose. So let's make it 105. Looks okay. Just a little bit, a slightly little bit roughness or randomness of the cloth, or maybe keep it 100. Press space. All good. So we didn't do a lot of changes, so just freeze it again. And one more thing, I highly recommend select all with Control A, right click, and quadrangulate. So what does quadrangulate do? Let's see. Right now this mesh is triangular. All you can see is the triangles. So select this guy, Control A, and quadrangulate. It is going to take a couple of seconds, but within seconds it will actually uh, make the mesh quadrical, not the rectangular. So it's done, You can see how smooth the mesh is. Looks really good. Just get back to our normal view. Select all, unfreeze, and press simulate again, so the corners are fixed, because earlier they were rectangular and now they are triangular. Sorry, earlier they were triangular, now they are quadrical. Perfect. Everything looks amazing. This tiny randomness looks really good, honestly. All right, what we are going to do now is just select all of these guys, file, export selected, export obj selected, and we call it base final. Okay, so this is for the one base. You can do the same, or you can use the same, because there's no huge difference, or there's no, randomness in, or no sleeves, no, actually, creases on the fabric. So we might use the same for all, but if you want to change, you can maybe do little randomness like this, and then you can simply export it again as a base 2, base 3, and we can export that. We can use that in 3ds Max. So yeah, we are going to do the same for the backside as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just create file, new, just select this guy, delete it, and now come back to 3ds Max, select this guy here, and file, export selected, and we called it backside 1. Okay. All right. So back again, file, import obj, backside 1. Let's check everything in centimeters. Okay, perfect. So we have it here. Now let's do the same which we did previously. This time let's be more precise, so we don't have to do this twice. Okay, perfect. Control C, Control V. Okay, press Shift and rotate, so you can rotate it more on an angle. Perfect. So you know what I was thinking, if we can all right, we can discuss that later. I was thinking that if we can have this bottom guy here also there, the base one. So let's try file, import, add. Do not import obj, import, add, and let's say base obj. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted actually. So the fabric reacts accordingly. All right, now Control C, Control V again. Rotate it this way. Put it here somewhere, and long press, edit pattern. Shortcut is Z. Bring this guy down. All right, make it slightly bigger. All right, Control C, Control V again. And you remember the drill. Rotate this guy here, bring it here, and just make it equivalent to this guy. All right, rotate it. Perfect. Bring it closer. And now Control C, Control V, maybe somewhere here. So whenever I move something here, nothing moves there. That's marvelous thing. In 3ds Max, yes, it will move, but in Marvelous, it doesn't. So you have to go with that. Control C, Control V. Perfect. Rotate this guy. Perfect. Okay. Hope all is good. Yeah, let's go with the stitching. Select this guy. Boom, 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 boom. No, you don't have to do that. Okay. So I think everything is stitched. All is good. Let's press space and see how it goes. Perfect. So you remember the drill, select everything, make it 95, 95, particle distance should be 8, and right click, quadrangle 8, so we can have everything right away. Space to simulate and see how it goes. Perfect. So something is not right here. Let's increase the particle distance from 8 to 6. Press space again. Okay, it is going to take a couple of seconds. Alright, so something is not looking good here. Select this guy, move it slightly down so we don't see that stuff going on. Now it looks good. No, move it slightly more. Okay, now it looks good. So you can see these little corners, and you know the drill, right? Long press, smooth curve. Let's smooth it for 3. Excuse me. Okay, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Not sure why it's taking so long, but you have to be very patient if we don't have a very powerful system. All right, all right. Okay. I think looks good. Press space and see how it goes. Alright, looks good. So we are going to do a couple of things here. First of all, select this guy and just press space and adjust it, move it a little upside. So I'm just going to adjust this guy here. Okay, looks better. Select this guy. Let's simulate it GPU so it's a little bit faster. Alright, sorry. So the next part is let's select this guy, freeze, and let's see where do we have detailing on this guy on the left right. So let's freeze one by one. Freeze, freeze, obviously freeze. Okay, select this guy, make it 105, and let's see. Okay, let's add the pressure of 2, maybe 8. Okay, yeah, we see a lot of detailing. Really cool. So let's make the pressure 5. Simulate 103 space. I think that looks something really cool. Select and freeze. Now open this guy, unfreeze, do the same 103, pressure 5. Okay, looks good to me, honestly. Select and freeze. So let's unfreeze this. And let's make it 102 maybe. I want to have less and smaller creases actually, just like this. Alright, freeze again. Looks good to me, it's like this. Unfreeze maybe 102, 8. Let's see, maybe 20. Yeah, 20 works well. Alright, select, freeze. Looks perfect to me. Alright, so now select all. And do we need actually on the top? I think, yeah, we can try. Unfreeze 105, 102, pressure 8, press space. Okay. Alright. Pressure 20. Yeah. Perfect. Select, freeze. Now let's unfreeze this and try how it goes with this. Alright, I think sounds fair enough. Select this guy, file, export, obj selected, and let's say backside final one. Okay, press OK. So the next thing is I'm going to select, unfreeze, simulate, and maybe let's create some randomness that it doesn't resemble with the previous one. So maybe 103 or maybe 102.5. So just a small randomness that it doesn't look similar, because we can export the same and we can use it. Let's pressure 4102. Okay, yeah, looks good to me. Select all, file, export, obj selected. Let's call it backside final 2. Okay, all right, so let's keep this going and create another version. Yeah, I think that's fine too. Select all, file, export, obj selected, and call it backside final 3. Perfect. There we go. Let's save this guy here. Backside Mabel. I'm going to close this guy. Open 3ds Max. And let's select this and delete. File, import, merge. And let's select all files. Go to the folder where we saved backside. Alright, import. Perfect. Wow, that looks really cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to file, group, group, Control G shortcut key, and you can set back 1. Now delete this guy, and maybe we can move it towards here. Delete this, or maybe move it here. Just make sure you have the group created. Alright, file, import, merge, and backside final 2. Import it. It says that this file is already there, so maybe we can rename all. Okay, just make sure to group backside 2, and move it here. Right. Alright, the next thing, file, import, merge, and backside final 3. Import, rename all. Okay, group. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's move this guy here and see. Yes, all of these are slightly different from each other. Looks really cool. So let's select this, delete, file, import, merge, and base final. All right, let's say group. Okay. Select it, move it slightly upwards, And here we go. So this is also fabric, and let's copy this. Okay. All right. Okay, the only thing is that we have a slightly gaps over there. So let's move it towards here and add FFD 2 by 2. Select the control points, move it here. Perfect. Select FFD 2 by 2. Perfect. Alright. Looks good to me, honestly. Next thing I would love to do is I'm going to open the group, open the group, open, 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 open. Alright. Select this guy, this, only the, only this area. Okay. Not the rest, only this. And maybe this and this too. So file, export selected. Let's call base for questions. Right, done. Open the Marvelous Designer again. Now we can close the group. All right. So we have Marvelous here. All right. So file, import obj, and where do we have base for questions? Here. All right. Okay. Wow. Where did the middle part go? Maybe it was not selected. Open. Select group. Open. Select. File. Export selected. And let's call it base for question. Yes. Export. Done. Let's delete this guy. File. Import obj. Base for questions. Wow. Alright. So what I think is something not right. Right click, convert to edit poly. Everything in the edit poly. So sometimes this happens. So let's say file, export, export selected, and we call it a different name. Let's say base 1. Okay, done. Let's import file, import obj base 1. What is going on actually? So I'm just exporting it again, and let's name it different because maybe sometime there is a cache issue, and let's call it base for questions again. Yes, okay. File, import obj base for questions 3, 2, 1, and boom. Yeah, we got it. All right, next thing is let's add a press S for the rectangle shortcut. Let's see, let's make it 40 by 40. I think that's too much. Maybe we need 30 by 30. All right. All right. Rotate it a bit more. Space, sorry, one thing we forget. 7, quadrangle 8, pressure should be 3, and the fabric should be, knit cotton, rayon jersey. And select these guys, move it slightly backwards here, space. Select this guy, and pressure should be 5 for the back side only, so that it sticks to the back, select these guys, and I stop the simulation, rotate it, perfect. Right, the front side pressure should be maybe 1. All right, hold on boy, hold on. Let's increase the pressure to 1 to 2. All right. Let's copy, paste, move it, space again. Okay, let's select this guy, freeze it. Let's play with this now. All right, looks good. Let's copy, paste, and let's freeze these two guys. Maybe we can make it smaller. Just space again. All right, move it to here. Looks good. And let's select all of these. File, export, obj selected, and we call it cushions. Boom. Perfect. Let's close this dude. File, import, merge. Where do we have cushions? Alright, import. Perfect. Okay, looks good to me. Next thing is let's create the legs, which is not very difficult. So I'm going to try maybe different kind of legs. Supply edit pulley, move it to this side, and have this guy here, move it to this side, maybe. Copy it. Alright. So I'm not going to do the 100% same legs. If you want, you can, but let's try a cylindrical ones. From the top, press F3. Sorry. Cylinder. Create one. Okay. Added poly. Change the color so it seems easy. Press G. Okay. F4 for the shaded view. Scale. Alright. Alright. Looks good to me. So, one thing. Just select the face. Insert. And select this edge and chamfer as a triangle. Okay, select this face and press extrude. Insert again. Select the edge. Chamfer again. Perfect. Alright. Mirror this guy with the instance. Okay. Bring it here. I think we should have these legs slightly smaller and okay, no, wait on. Bigger. Yeah, that seems more reasonable. Left side, select and move as an instance. Here we go. All right. Well, that was the course. I hope this will help you a lot. Let's see how does this render looks like.